And of course, congratulations. It's a real honour for me to be here today with you. And firstly, a huge thank you to His Royal Highness for hosting us in such an incredible place, which is fitting given that so many of you have achieved something remarkable to be here. I know firsthand the power of the Duke of Edinburgh's Award and how it can transform a young person's life, because it did exactly that for me. When I was 18, I was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison. At the time, I thought that was it, game over. I didn't think I'd get a second chance, let alone do anything meaningful with my life. But in the lowest chapter of my life, something unexpected happened and I was introduced to the DofE. I'd heard of it back in school and I was curious, but like a lot of teenagers, I didn't want to do it alone. And since none of my friends were into it, I didn't give it a go. Fast forward to being in prison and I knew I had to change something. I started saying yes to things that might help me build a future, and one of those things was signing up for the Duke of Edinburgh's Award. You might be wondering, how do you even do the DofE in prison? Well, for my volunteering section, I trained as a listener. That's a role where you support other inmates, kind of like a peer mentor, trained by the Samaritans. This is where I started to feel trusted, like I had a purpose and a responsibility, which was a totally new feeling. I even got a chance to do a proper expedition. The first time around, we did the Jailers Challenge, a bunch of team building activities within the prison walls. But towards the end of my sentence, we were able to go out into the Chiltern Hills. When the late Duke of Edinburgh heard about it, he joked, "Were you all attached by ball and chain?" We weren't. It would have made it interesting. Through all of it, something started to shift and my confidence grew and I began to believe in myself. The biggest turning point came during the skills section. I was working in the prison kitchen, so I chose cooking. Not exactly 5-star stuff, but I started working towards a qualification in professional cookery. I learned the basics, how to dice an onion, how to make a bechamel sauce and things like that. I didn't know it then, but at the time, working in that staff canteen was the moment where a little spark was lit within me, a spark that would become a fire. I'll never forget walking into a proper professional kitchen for the first time. I got a day release job at one of Jamie Oliver's restaurants, and everything about it, the buzz, the pace and the energy, I fell in love. Of course, it wasn't always easy. I had doubts, I had setbacks, but I kept showing up, leaning on others when I needed to. And that journey has built a resilience that's carried me ever since. Just over 14 years ago, I was down the road from here at St. James's Palace, collecting my Gold Award, a moment I'll never forget. When I was released, Jamie's team offered me a full-time job, which meant I could leave the area that I grew up in and start fresh. I spent 5 amazing years working all over the country before I decided to go solo, starting off with a food truck. I built a reputation, delivered good food, even getting up enough confidence to open my own place. But then 2020 happened and we all know what happened next. Almost overnight, everything changed. Events cancelled and doors shut. I felt deflated. But I also felt something else, that inner grit, that resilience I'd built through my DofE journey. I didn't give up and instead I adapted. And it might sound random, but I started making a vision board of my career, of my goals and where I wanted to end up. I took a job as a private chef in a fancy household, not what I had in mind, but it was a way forward. When I was there, I started filming what I was cooking, just simple recipes and tips, and then posting it on social media. And to my surprise, people loved it. Things snowballed and my following started to grow rapidly, which started to get me noticed. So then in 2021, I was invited to cook live on ITV's This Morning. A surreal moment, especially when I tell you that a few years earlier, I'd photoshopped myself over Gino D'Acampo's face on the set of This Morning and stuck it on my vision board. I told the producers this and they asked me to bring it in. So there I was, live on air, holding up this old vision board, talking about goals, determination, and how the DofE played a huge part in getting me there. Now with the #1 best-selling cookbook under my belt, new things are being added to that vision board. And well, I can't say too much now, let's just say there's more to come. Since then, I've been lucky enough to appear on Saturday Kitchen, compete on a cooking show, and take part in a reality TV series. It's been a whirlwind. And honestly, I feel like I'm living the dream. Because having landed in prison at 18, I know how things could have gone, how easy it would have been to drift further and further from anything good. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. The Duke of Edinburgh's Award didn't just change my life, it saved it. That's why I give back. I visit schools and prisons to share my story, to show what's possible, no matter where you come from. This year I became a trustee for a charity based in London prisons, helping prisoners learn to cook and get support when they're released, giving them a similar chance to what I had. Because when you've seen how far one opportunity can take you, you want to make sure others can get that shot too. So I'll leave you with this. No matter your background, the mistakes you've made, or how low you felt, there is always a way forward, and sometimes it starts with just one brave step. To all of you here today, never stop pushing, never stop believing, and never underestimate what you're capable of. The fact that you're here today shows that you have exactly what it takes to make it. So congratulations again, thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Once again, amazing story, and it continues. It's great to hear how it continues. Your careers continue. Brilliant. So thank you.